don't gotta do it if you don't want to. You don't gotta do it if you don't want to. It's just a suggestion.
What's your last topic?
Yeah. Well,
do we need more root
we
beers?
do. Yeah, we could pause here. It's just like 2 hours. Oh, we'll let it go. But like, this is a nice clean break.
No, that's not how we're doing it. The time frame is.
I know. I use the restroom.
Then use the fucking restroom.
That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go pee, bro. Oh, we can just walk away. No,
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that is perfectly fine.
But I'm not cutting this into anything based solely on the fact that we hit 2 hours exactly.
No. But it just happened to happen.
It happened to happen. I just happened to accidentally buy this cheeseburger off on credit and finance this taco. Speak on hour increments. He doesn't realize that this 2 hour thing that he's so enamored with, we've already done 3 topics. So what now? How hot's your potato now? Wonder what his last topic's going to be. This is kind of a fun format. Oh, they have different things on here. No. They all say you can't prohibit genius. Never mind. So my wife texted me and she said, oh, she sent me a meme. Let's see here if we got a joke here from my wife Amethyst. Okay. I just tried to order Indian food in Bethesda, and this is hilarious. What? The spice level, and this is about Bethesda, Maryland. The spice levels for ordering food are 0 spice, American mild, American medium, American spicy, and then Indian mild, Indian medium, and Indian spicy. So all the American spices are below the lowest Indian spicy. That is pretty good. Yes. So we've been getting into the habit of having tacos on Thursdays. There's a place called The Crane, but in Spanish, with El Grillo, across from the hospital. It's pretty awesome. It's like they took a taco truck and put it into a brick and mortar business because all they sell is like taco truck stuff. Very small menu, very, very, very good food. They've only got the one lady who runs the register. She's the one that speaks English. They have dollar tacos after 5 p.m. It's really good, and we get the hot ones, and sometimes they are so hot that you know how when something's too spicy and you take a bite out of it, and then you're like, "Ooh, that was good," but oh my gosh, that was spicy, and then your stomach says take another bite, but your brain says, "I don't know if you should do that," and so you fight it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't fight it though.
Yeah, no, I'll keep going. Yeah, but that place by the hospital that has the dollar tacos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have just like the Toro Bravo. They've got 2 options: mild or hot.
Yeah,
and the mild it's kind of savory and it's kind of cute and it's okay. It doesn't have a lot of flavor, and the hot has good flavor, but it is super hot. Like there is no middle.
I like to feel it.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I like it when the spice has good flavor and it makes you sweat just enough to where your temples get a little bit moist. Yeah, that's when you know that you're doing it right there. W's.
So it's kind of funny how you happen to mention Snow White. I hope Snow White wasn't on your list, was it?
On my list of what? I've already done both of my topics today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I was the first topic.
I was. My first.
We
spent 45 minutes making fun of the fact that you stopped drinking after watching the Ice
Oh,
Pirates.
that was it. Okay, I thought
that was the topic.
There we go.
It
was so natural.
I was just bullshitting.
It was so natural.
Yeah.
All right. So, you mentioned Snow White. So, what have you heard about the Snow White? Like, what do you know going into this?
So, there's a lot. I mean, when I engage in conservative media, they talk a lot of shit on Snow White. So I know that they tried to do this all-inclusive thing with no dwarves originally, and they had all these different colorful characters.
They were going to call them magical people.
Yes, and they were trying to go down this path, and they got so much hate for it that they revamped the entire thing and did CGI dwarves.
Yeah, they already shot with that cast.
Yeah, no, I watched the trailer. They released a trailer, which is what prompted the outrage. And then they did that. So people are just poised to hate it already. And then the gal who plays Snow White gets on her soapbox and starts saying all this anti-Israeli stuff in the media, and which is kind of like both hands in front of me. Whoa!
And why are you doing that?
Well, people are allowed to have their opinions, but when your co-star is an Israeli national,
yeah.
And the third thing that I heard about that, which I totally agree with, is that the evil witch and in that one is way hotter than Snow White.
So we'll start here. Let's hear a little bit of the star's words in her own voice. Here.
And
I'm a narcissist. Original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Okay.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part. That people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnett. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Damn.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online. And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. I'm a narcissist.
Wow. So I was on my side of the screen, but we got the audio for that. My goodness. So yeah, so the whole thing, I'm a narcissist. I mean, that's a really funny intro to this little montage that somebody put together. But yeah, the fact that she went on a press tour bashing Disney's first animated feature, that wonder why that rubbed people the wrong way.
So I know Sky News out of Australia, they're a little bit conservative, a little bit right leaning, but I find them interesting because they've got no skin in the game. They're Australia, and they're just they're commenting on the
goofy shit over there
culture, right? So
Disney's Snow White remake is on track to lose $115 million. According to Deadline, it cost more than $400 million just to make the film, but then it also includes another $270 million, which includes $270 million in production costs and another $140 million in promotional related costs. But the film is, of course, it's the lowest IMDb rating of all time, sitting at 1.6 out of 10. What do you put this down to? Are you surprised? Do we blame Disney or Rachel Zegler for this?
I do blame Disney. I blame them for casting someone as woke as her. I blame them for taking the root of wokeness. I want to remind the viewers, Snow White is called Snow White because she's white as snow. Now, Rachel is an attractive woman, but she's not Snow White. She's very anti-Trump. She's very anti-Israel. She felt that it was necessary during her movie promotion to start indulging in her political advocacy. And when you turn off, Trump's approval rate was what you said, 53%. So you have more than half of the country supporting Trump, and you took the route of going against him. You lost half of your fan base. Mm-hmm. And it's a shame when you see a lot of Hollywood actors come out, against, let's say, Trump or any politician. Personally, I can't watch another Mark Ruffalo movie. I can't watch half of these actors.
I get it. This is a very conservative speaking point.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I do not care that the actor who plays Snow White is not white. I don't give a shit. That doesn't. I mean, that's really trying to drive the point home of wokeness. Who cares? She's not white. It doesn't matter. But the thing that I agree with is that you're trying to promote a film. You're trying to get families and children and Disney buffs to go see this movie that has already been marred by myriad problems during production. And then you're going to use that as your one and likely only opportunity to just carry your soapbox around, and you're promoting a family film. What does that have to do with Israel?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just very bad mistake on her part, and the fact that Disney let her do that throughout the press tour, because we watched that clip, and there were, I mean, how many different shots were that?
You have to promote your film. You have to support it. You have to sell it. You're the main character in this movie.
Yeah.
This film, this screenplay relies on you to be attractive and draw in fans. You want to increase your audience. And if whatever comes out of your mouth does anything but that, you're doing the whole production a disservice.
Yeah, and so that's a really good point, because it's not just about her. How many people put 2-3 years of their life into that production, and she just went out and said, well, this is all about me, and I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't even like the namesake of the film that I'm in. I mean, she was just bashing everything. And it's like, so there's a British talk show. It's called like The Red Couch or something like that. I see clips of it all the time. I've never seen the whole show, but there's this guy who has famous actors, and then it's just a talk show.
Oh, Graham?
Is that what it is?
I think so. I'll show you. Keep going.
And yeah, he did a thing where he had Tom Hanks on the show, and Tom Hanks tells a story about how he spoiled the fact that they were working on Toy Story 4 or 5. Which is the one that hasn't come out yet? How many did they make? Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, yes.
Graham Norton.
Graham Norton show. Yes, and so
I like watching him.
And so they're making a new Toy Story, and Tom Hanks spilled the beans, and he tells a story about how he gets a call from one of the Disney lawyers telling him, hey, you can't do that. You can't say that. You can't tell people that we're doing this. You're under contract. And of course, he cracked a joke when he was like, what are you going to do? I'm Woody, man. Yeah, which is funny. But the story is so funny. They called to admonish Tom Hanks,
yes,
for spilling the beans on something that's going to happen anyway. But they let this gal go on this massive press tour and just bury the brand of Snow White.
Somebody should have pulled her aside after that first time she said something that wasn't helping.
It's like, hey, wait until the movie's out, and then no one will cast you ever again. Now you can go do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, they need to give her a list of, okay, you can talk about this, you can talk about this, leave the interview back here. This is what we want you to highlight. You made an excellent point, and I was thinking the same thing about everybody who has their name printed when the credits roll, devoted their lives for the better part of 2 or 3 years, many of them, in hopes that this successful film would take off and maybe make their career, maybe something that they could be proud of moving forward. Yeah. And now it's anything but that.
How many people on that production who are just 9-to-5ers, like any grocery clerk, like anybody in this world, are on that production, and they try to get a job on the next movie, and the people are like, oh, they worked on Snow White. Let's pass on that person.
I would be most upset if I stood to earn residual income from the film and then found, oh, the whole thing's tanking and nobody. Well, on IMDb, 1.6 stars out of 10.
So what the Australian gal said was true. This is currently the lowest rated IMDb movie in history. I watched a thing a few weeks ago where somebody took the time to point out that includes being lower rated than the Human Centipede trilogy.
Oh yeah. So here, I'm glad you brought that up because I have a list of all the worst movies on IMDb. We've got Disaster Movie. On 1.9 is better. We've got super. That one's just right there, 1.5. Birdemic, Shock and Terror at 1.7.
Birdemic. Oh.
Manos, Titanic, The Legend Goes
Wait a minute.
On.
Wait a minute. Manos, The Hand of Fate has a higher
The Hands
rating.
of Fate, yeah.
So that film, it's a Spanish
Mystery Science
cult theater.
Oh, it's close to it. Gained infamy.
So is it the Mystery Science Theater version?
A horror film about a family encountering a cult gained infamy via Mystery Science.
That's how come I know it, because it's one of the worst movies ever made, and Mystery Science Theater famously made fun of it. It's one of their best episodes ever. And it has a higher rating. The original film has a higher rating than Snow White. Alice is gonna love that.
Saving Christmas, 1.6 is right there with it. The Hottie and the Naughty.
Oh yeah,
1.9. Paris Hilton here. Battlefield Earth.
Oh my gosh, you've ever seen Battlefield Earth?
No.
That's John Travolta.
John Travolta,
is a Scientologist, and so they made this Scientology movie. What a nightmare!
The Pledge. Ratty? I don't even know. Radhe. It's a Bollywood film.
No, I didn't.
It's a Bollywood film.
Oh.
And then we've got epic movie.
So the
food fight, Alone in the Dark,
comedies,
Glitter, date movie, House of Dead, Catwoman, Meet the Spartans, Daniel the Wizard, The Troll 2, Hobgoblins.
I love how all of the turn of the century parody films are on this list.
Dragon Ball Evolution, Vampires Suck, and yes, here we are. The Human Centipede 2 full sequence has like double their current rating.
The internet skips most of this list and just makes fun of it beating out Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah, okay, but when you get disaster movie, right? If disaster movie with Carmen Electra,
it's a parody film.
I know. But Carmen Electra is in a film that did better than the current Disney's version of Snow White.
She's in several films that did better than Snow White. And she is more fair than Snow White.
Yep. She's been in a lot of love stories too, which Snow White should have been.
Yeah, they really screwed the pooch on the whole premise of Snow White being the fairest in the land, and then casting Gal Gadot as the evil witch.
So, according to Grok,
Gal Gadot, sorry.
Their poor box office performance, which they spent almost $500 million on this, the whole thing, all of it put together.
Think about how much it cost to go back and reanimate the people out of the film. It's like the Sonic the Hedgehog thing. That cost Sony hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, it worked out for them, but the original design for the Sonic movie was so bad that it hurt, and people just said we're not going to go watch this.
So yes, main character we mentioned, calling the prince weird and being a stalker, being openly pro-Palestinian, and choosing to use your promotion tour to break out some of those.
So let's talk about the stalker thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is he just actively trying to court her? I haven't seen Snow White in like 40 years.
Neither have I.
Like in most princess style things, the prince or the male lead is trying to court the woman, and it's always one of those like, oh yay, the Captain Prince kind of deal.
So they cut out a whole bunch of that stuff. Like the interactions that they had from what I'm told, the current production, the interactions between the prince and Snow White were limited.
Yeah.
The interactions that they did have were a departure from the original. The interaction that the Snow White had with the dwarves, which I agree, those roles should have been cast to little people. Why? Basically, okay, we don't want to be insensitive, and we don't want to be insensitive by completely excluding all little people actors from any sort of production that is actually designed for them. Like there was a lot. I was watching some. I don't know if you're familiar with the the show Little People, Big World. You ever watched that or familiar with it? They're famous in the Little People community. I know it because my wife loved to follow. Well, she still follows the family. She still watches their shows. And one of the sons in the family went on record stating like, "Hey, come on, what are you doing?" And I guess it was there was the little person that played on Game of Thrones, and I still haven't seen it.
Peter Dinklage.
Yes. He came out in opposition to Little People being used in Snow White. And so then when he came out and was like, no, I can't do that. Then everyone was like, what are you talking about?
Just because you're already fucking famous.
You've made it.
Yeah.
You found yourself the role of roles that set you up for life.
Yeah.
And now there's other people that are trying to, because you're an inspiration to them. And now you're casting a shadow. You're raining on their parade. You won't allow them to have some of the same opportunities that you were able to have. And so after he said, that's precisely what happened. And Disney kind of, whether it was because of his statements or if they were already thinking this is just going to be too difficult, how are we going to navigate through what people are going to say online? But it was just, too much.
I watched an interview with Brad Williams, who's a comedian, a little person.
Oh yeah. I like him.
He's hilarious.
So funny.
But he said the same thing. He said it's so hard to find dedicated roles for little people in Hollywood. If you want to be a Hollywood actor and you're a little person, they just took away 7 of the most juiciest choice opportunities in recent Hollywood history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot, who plays Evil Queen, is Israeli on Lebanon's Israel boycott list.
Yep.
Leading the film being banned.
Of course she is. She's Wonder Woman.
Leading the film being banned in Lebanon. Okay, so the CGI dwarves, that was a major thing. The story changes. I know there was a scene in the original Snow White where the dwarves are going out, they're working, they graciously took her in, housed her and fed her, and she was along with all the other animals helping them straighten up the house, right?
Yeah.
And the new one, she put all the dwarves to work when they got back and they cleaned their own house.
That's hilarious. Oh wow. So they turned Snow White into a gold digger who just sits around eating bonbons and makes the hardworking dwarves come home and do all the work.
She was barking orders, so to speak. And no, we can't put a woman to work in the house. They wanted to get away from that, from those
the domestic tropes.
Correct.
Yeah. Yes. So they had 7 short people go out and toil in a mine for 12 hours and then come home and do the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
So does she fall victim to an enchanted sleep in the movie? And is she awoken with the kiss, or is it just positive reinforcement? Does she just will herself out of it? How does that work? I don't know. I haven't seen the film.
No, I haven't seen it either. They said, well, according to her, it's not a love story. This is not a...
Yeah, it sounds like they could have taken the prince out of the film. Hey, real talk, brass tacks here. If something happens and you fall under an enchanted sleep and the only way to wake you is through a kiss, I will not be asking your consent. I'm gonna get you out of that, bro. I got you.
Thank you for speaking as slow as possible to allow me to envision what I hope never occurs.
Just saying.
I might need the rest. You can let me go. I might need a break.
Yeah.
I might need a break. He's good. Let him sleep another 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this whole, and it's been kind of entertaining watching this kind of unravel and unfold, because it's it started to, oh wait, what?
It makes me uncomfortable.
She said what? Okay, well, all right, well, maybe that was a one-off. Let me put her back out there. Oh, again there? Oh, it's worse. And then what is she doing? And then nobody from Disney intervening.
Yeah.
We just let this go. I would be most angry if I was the prince. If any of this if any of what she had to say influenced the production team to all but erase me from this film, I thought this was, hey, that's a great role for a great male lead role.
Prince Charming, yeah.
And then, oh, I'm a stalker, am I? It's not a love story, and I'm barely in the film. A lot of the musical numbers were very empowering. I have heard it's very from within, and we're, you have it in you.
Yeah. Hi ho. Off to work we go.
They sung that song going to work and coming home because they had to clean their house.
Yep.
But yeah, they are losing right. So I have heard that Disney is they're making some changes and starting to self-correct. I would be interested in what Zegler does next. Who picks her up next, and for what?
I think she's done.
She is talented, though. She can sing.
Yeah,
she can dance. She has an excellent voice.
She's from Broadway, right? She's a Broadway star.
Yeah, I think so.
So she may be able to go back to that, but I think her movie career is over.
Yeah. I mean, you can just go through this list of terrible movies to know that. This is with 340,000 people that have rated this, and it hasn't been able to crack 2 stars. Some of this is just out of spite, and I think most of these people have. To be fair,
review bombing is a huge thing now,
and most of these people, I would say, the vast majority of them, or at least I would like to think, haven't even bothered to watch the film.
No, that's what it is.
I know what you mean, but you can still review bomb something and watch it.
That's one of the things. No, you can't. Review bombing is the thing where that's a specific thing where a bunch of people
they don't care. Hey, let's.
I don't like the ideology. I hate the thing. I'm not going to go see it. But me and my internet community are going to get together and just rip this film.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'll like this film, but I'm not gonna rate it. I haven't seen it.
But that's what happens, and you get I see it in video games. The big problem now with video games is the big AAA titles. They are so big, huge, massive worlds. They always come out super broken, and so to voice their dismay on that phenomenon, when the day a movie releases, hell of people get together and just review bomb the game so that it kind of comes out with 2 stars. It's just it's a form of protest. And, we're giving the people too much power over what actually happens. Mm-hmm. Yes, a movie studio is trying to make a film that people want to go see. In that respect, they are the customer and they're catering to that. But here we're talking about people never do anything like this again. I'm not even going to fucking see it. And I'm going to review bomb it with 300,000 other people to make it the worst movie of all time. Mm-hmm. And that's so relative. It may not be a terrible film. Just because it simply from the fact that it has Disney level production value tells me it's going to be better than disaster movie. Mm-hmm. Just flat out.
Yeah.
But the relative aspect, it's got to be better than Human Centipede 2. Just the relative aspect of the fact that it got review bombed so hard has made it now infamous. So
if you go see a movie, or if you go see a movie and you're like, I can't finish this, and you walk out and then you give it a negative review, that's not considered review bombing.
No.
Oh, okay.
Review bombing is a crowd. It's a crowd thing.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Only the ignorant can review bomb.
Yes, but it brings up an interesting point about
what if I don't like the trailer? This is a terrible.
That's what it is. So they CGI'd those 7 dwarves into that film because they released the trailer, and the trailer got review bombed.
Yeah,
because you go on YouTube, you can give it a thumbs down.
Yeah,
and that's what happened. Same thing with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, YouTube's much different than a reputable source like IMDb. They're considered the authority when it comes, or Rotten Tomatoes.
YouTube, you're so reputable.
YouTube,
you have to be reputable to charge $20 or was it $50 a month for no ads? Yeah,
$22.99.
That's so bad. But that's what it's a form of the social media landscape.
Yeah.
So trailer goes out on YouTube and it just gets destroyed and people infer their entire opinion on the trailer. And it's probably millions of people who never even intended to go see the movie, but you're messing with their idea of society. Oh, that's not Snow White, not in my world. And then they talk shit. And so a big part of movies, they release these trailers, and you watch a modern trailer, they release a teaser.
Yeah.
And they just throw out a couple of scenes. And then, I mean, that movie is not going to come out for 18 months. They release a couple of scenes, they get the trolls' reaction to the trailer, and then based on that, they will go back and do rewrites and reshoots to better meet the expectations of all these people who probably won't even go see the damn movie.
Yeah, when did the original come out? Was it the 30s?
1937.
1937. I think it's so dangerous to touch a beloved old historic Disney movie.
It's historic.
It came out and think about the people that, well, I don't know. There's not too many people that watched it in the, as adults in the 30s that are alive now. So you were probably a child at the time. If you're still here, or maybe after you enjoyed it, you showed it to somebody really young. But think about their age.
Well, if you went and saw it in theaters when you were 7 years old, you're 95 right now.
Yes. So, and a 95-year-old, or most 95-year-olds, are definitely not going to go for that video where she's like, "I'm a narcissist." They pick the worst parts. I know they put it all together in the worst light.
That 95-year-old doesn't give a shit about this stuff.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so but their children and their grandchildren, if they watch the original, they have all they remember what they felt and what they were thinking and what they were feeling during that time, and they remember the story. And if that was one of the films and the stories that spoke to them, and they were really looking forward to this, to find what they presented here, that I don't know how you can. They should have thought about that a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
but honestly, that's such an opinion-based concept, because you can't. If you're going to reboot something, you're going to give it some fresh ideas. Yes, excuse me. However, you're always going to run the risk of alienating people who adore the original subject matter. Mm-hmm. It's just the nature of the beast, and Disney, of course, is doing this now. They're making all these live action movies so that they can maintain ownership of these IPs, so they can refresh the IPs, right? And so you do get these people, these opinions, these strong opinions. Like for me, I grew up watching The Jungle Book. It was my favorite Disney film. Jungle Book and Disney's Robin Hood were my favorite Disney films. They still are, probably. And I was almost afraid to go see The Jungle Book, because I was afraid of that phenomenon you were describing about how this is going to destroy my childhood love of this film. It's a really good movie.
It is.
But there are other things like Aladdin, where same deal. They took some very interesting creative licenses with that and didn't allow Will Smith to rap really at all, which was a tragedy. And that was an awful film. Just a really bad movie. So, but the thing is, I don't know, maybe that's a mindset thing, because I can go into something knowing, not having expectations. Like I honestly did not expect Will Smith to try and recreate the song that Robin Williams did. Yeah. I did not expect that. He did. He tried.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, the GOAT.
I mean,
yeah. But
that was a tall order.
But if you're worried about, if you want something to be exactly like what you remember this is, go just do that. You can't expect this to be the exact same thing. The only time that's ever existed is when they redid Psycho. They did it shot for shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think they try to stay. They try to avoid cancellation by a relative minority, right? You have these a relatively small group of people online on the social media platforms who speak the loudest, and it definitely trends in the legacy media and other places but they're a relative minority. And your greater audience is just quietly awaiting for you to come out with something that they can consume and enjoy.
And that's what it is. It's the people speaking the loudest give you the impression that everybody feels that way, when the vast majority of people, only the regular folk are just living their lives. They're just going on their day to day. It's only the people who feel passionately about something to the point where they have to stop what they're doing and get involved and get aggravated and get loud. Yeah. There are many things in this world that I just don't really care that much about. And so therefore you don't know that I don't care about those things because I never say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's when people are almost attempting to force you to care about what they care about, is when people are like, oh, okay, wait a second here. You were fine or just a few moments ago.
Yeah.
And I was fine too. And I was happy to let you go and live your life and say what you want and do your thing and go after your cause and raise money for this thing or that, or start a foundation. Okay, you've got your nonprofit or whatever you're going to do. Go do it. Go live your life. Go be happy. But as soon as it's like encroaching on what I have to do because now this is mandatory or some sort of mandate, then you find that the silent majority start to speak up, and that's what Disney's run into.
Yeah, they're starting. Well, yeah, I mean, they have a very conservative fan base. You know, that's just. I mean, so yeah, just it's just so funny that I see so many things, and I've read so many stories about how like the thing with Tom Hanks, how Disney just tells people, "What are you doing? Stop that." You know,
that was a while ago, obviously, right?
Yeah, but like there's all these running gags about how Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland kept trying to spoil like superhero movies when they were on press tour, and then Disney would be like Tom Holland tells it, Disney would be like, "What are you doing?" You know.
They just had to share.
Yeah.
They couldn't keep it secret any longer.
They're famous. In the Marvel universe, those two guys are famous for ruining stuff. But
wow.
But
they signed NDAs.
So that's just it. And I've heard people like I think it was Haley Atwell who plays Agent Carter in the MCU. And I think was it her? Somebody was talking about the NDAs and how scary they are. Like how they make you they make you want to be extra careful when you're on press tour and you're not giving away anything, right? It's very important. And then of course then Tom Holland comes around and is like, "Oh yeah, Spider-Man in the movie." Yeah,
I'll be there.
Yeah. To the point to where spoilers in Avengers Endgame, they didn't tell anybody that it was going to be a funeral at the end of the movie. They just had all the cast come to there and they started putting people in black suits when they filmed it. And even when it was happening, they didn't tell Tom Holland what was going on.
Can't tell that kid anything.
No.
He's got a mouth on him. He will run it. I just signed an NDA for my current position, my current job. It's kind of crazy. It's the first time I've ever accepted a teaching position and had to sign an NDA.
For the federal government, you have to sign a lifetime contract. Basically, my NDA for Uncle Sam is a 50-year commitment. Kind of interesting. So yeah, I don't even think about it.
So the district I work at, their intellectual property and the way that they disperse information and education is secret.
It seems to me. So this is the same place you worked at over the last few years.
Yeah.
And this is new. The NDA.
When I started there a few years ago, that was the first, like at my last place of employment.
Oh, okay. So you signed it before you started working there. It didn't just happen like last week.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not. The NDA is not new.
Why are they trying to keep education a secret? If they're succeeding, shouldn't they tell everybody?
Their processes and inner workings are sacred and should. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It
seems to me like they're trying to entrap you into not saying anything if one of your students comes to you and says they want to be a different gender.
No,
Why would you
I'll
keep? Why would you
I'll
keep
pull
a
it up.
change
I
a
think
secret?
I got a copy of it somewhere.
We don't have to. Look
I
at
know,
that.
but now
I believe you.
now I'm
it's
curious.
an NDA.
But I mean, I work for a couple universities that didn't have I didn't sign an NDA to work there.
Because education is for everybody.
That's what I'm thinking. They should be trying to give it away.
Now I kind of want to see your NDA. No, I'm sure it won't have specifics, but it's just so funny.
You work here. Don't tell anyone.
I will not.
I'll just show up to work daily
Yeah.
and interact with everybody who shows up to learn. That's all.
It's so bad. I don't get it, bro.
Oh.
I don't get it.
Anyway, Snow White. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I got.
that was an interesting conversation. I like that. So hey, thank you for joining us on the ConverSAYtion podcast. I'm letter K. That's Psych.
Still,
and
it's episode 42. We got 42 episodes.
42.
I think I just did 41.
Is it okay? So this would be 42 through 40.
40. Yeah, we're in the 40s. We're old.
Yeah, we're getting there. I've almost got as many ages as years, in life. So, big takeaways: drinking is bad. Fan institutions aren't your friend, and the Ice Pirates is brilliant.
Ice Fire.
See you guys next time. Don't get space herpes.
Now that is dumb.
No, it's not. It's fucking brilliant.
Oh,
you just don't have the capacity to appreciate the genius, so you think it's dumb.
I think my lack of capacity is a dominant gene somewhere that maybe Colossal can give to others.
Yes. You too cannot like great cinema. All you need is a psych gene.